Hi everybody, welcome back to the Gallowgateshots YouTube channel and podcast. We're back with another match preview. It seems like we never stop doing these, Chris. The games are coming thick and fast. I'm Scott, I am your host for this one. And this week we are joined by Kris, Deka and Mark. It's an all with smiling faces special match preview for the semi-final of the Carabao Cup, leg 1 against Southampton. Before we get started, I just want to let you all know that this match preview is brought to you by Magpin badges. Magpin are the go-to site for high-quality, unofficial enamel pin badges of Newcastle players, legends, and retro kits. If you want more information on Magpin, their website is magpinbadges.bigcartel.com. So it's a Tuesday night kickoff, 8 p.m. down at Southampton. It's live on Sky. It seems like we're never off that channel at the minute. We seem to be every single game's on Sky, which is nice. Southampton aren't doing that well in the league, and I know this is a cup game, but I think it's worth touching on the league form as well. They're currently sitting bottom. They're on 4 wins, 3 draws, and 13 losses with a minus 18 goal difference. Kris, given their current league form and where they are in the league, are we going into this game with a bit more confidence than we normally would do?
I'm going into every single game full of confidence. It doesn't matter who we're playing at the minute. Great that they're in the relegation zone. But honestly, Scott, we've done these match previews all season now, and it doesn't matter if you're playing a team in the top 4 or the bottom 4. We're confident going into them. The only issue which I have now is lack of goals. We're so used to scoring goals, and now it seems like it's dried up a little bit. That's what me only worry, but it's not so damaging away from home if we're not scoring.
Absolutely, and this is over 2 legs. So if we don't get a goal or many goals on Tuesday, we've also got the trip to St James's Park to smash them when they come up and visit us. Deka, man,
I mean, way to go and curse we're already, yeah.
Hey, confidence, man. You've got to have confidence. Deka, Southampton's lead up to this. They played Lincoln City, Sheffield Wednesday, Cambridge United, and then obviously they beat Man City the other week 2-0. You could argue they've had quite an easy run up to Man City compared to what we've had. Is that maybe a blessing in disguise when we come to face Southampton in terms of they haven't had that much of a challenge to come up to us?
No, I think I personally think Sheffield Wednesday are a good side, and I think we've seen that for ourselves. They really are storming it this season. The Man City game was incredible, tremendous result, and I don't think any of us expected that. Probably even Southampton didn't, to be fair. They have turned. I know they got beat yesterday, but I think they've won 3 in the last 4, so that they've obviously turned a bit of a corner. And if I'm honest with you, I'm not going to say I'm worried necessarily, but we are catching them on probably their best run of form. They clearly haven't. They had won 3 in a row, which they hadn't done at any stage of the season. So, I agree with Kris. That we are as good. We have been excellent this season, and I know the goals have dried up a little bit. I'm not as concerned on that one. I still think we're playing well in games. I still thought we played well yesterday, so I'm still full of confidence, to be honest with you. And I think we should be going there. I'm not saying we're going to come away 2 or 3-0. But I definitely think we can get a goal. I really do. I think we can get a goal. So, but I'm still confident.
Yeah, I think one of the things we might have going for us as well, Mark, is that Southampton have an FA Cup tie against Blackpool in between the 2 legs. And we will be doing another preview for the second leg, but they've got to be going into this game and the next game with that in mind as well. Do you think we'll maybe see some rotation based on their league position and the fact they're still in the FA Cup, or do you think it'll be all guns blazing with Southampton?
No, I do. I think they'll probably be more focused on this one, just as we've probably had half an eye on it, because it's an opportunity to get to a cup final and everything that brings with it. I do see an opportunity to get to a cup final because we do have to get past Southampton as well. Just to bring a bit of caution and reality to the situation. Yes, Southampton have been struggling for form this season. They do find themselves bottom of the table, but as Dek has just said there, they are just starting to improve things. The one good thing going in our direction is that they aren't scoring any goals. So you would hope, that with our defence and how tight we are at the back, you would hope we would keep that, any threat for them down to a minimum. But you just can never say never in this game. But that key for me was that second leg at home. As you said, across 2 legs, getting them down at their place in that first leg, and then back to St James's for the second, I think should do us enough.
Yeah, we've been quite lucky in our draws for this cup. I think the only away game was the first game against Tranmere, and then we've had every other game at St James's. Not that it's helped, Chris. I mean, the Crystal Palace game was an awful game, and I think also the Bournemouth game wasn't much better, but we did get through both of them. Obviously, Mark touched on Southampton not scoring many. They do have a great goal scorer when it comes to set pieces in James Ward-Prowse. Is he probably the one that we're going to have to watch out for in terms of, we have a tendency to give away some set pieces, and that could be where they potentially break us down and get a goal if they are going to get one. I know it's been that long since Newcastle conceded a goal, but we do concede them every now and again. Is that a worry for you, James Ward-Prowse?
Yeah, of course it is. Everybody knows how good he is at those set pieces. So it's really one of those positions you find yourself in if you give away a free kick on the edge of the box, just like how we are confident when Trippier gets those sort of positions. He's probably a better free kick taker than Trippier, if I'm being honest with you. Yeah. He buries those right in the corner as well. So yes, it's a worry, but the lads have just got to stay focused and not give away those daft free kicks, which we have seen over previous seasons. I think Longstaff was renowned for doing it at certain points. Matt Ritchie as well used to love doing it on the edge of the box. But do we give away that many free kicks recently in dangerous areas? Do people get close enough for us to make the challenges in those parts of the field? But you might get 1-2 chances. But I'm full of confidence when it comes to that defence. And Nick Pope would just saw how good he is at the weekend there. How he can have all games sat doing absolutely nothing, then pull off a worldie of a save, a match winner of a save. So even if they do get those positions, yes, he is a great free kick taker, but we'll just have to stop doing it. Just stop making those needless challenges and tackles on the edge of the box.
Yeah, absolutely. I think another couple of players that Southampton have, obviously, they've got that Maitland-Niles. He's on loan from Arsenal, I believe. Shea Adams, who's always a threat in front of goal. Couple of injuries, though. Theo Walcott, McCarthy, Kotchap, Laris and Livramento. So they've got a few players out. I think that McCarthy's their number one choice keeper as well. So he's potentially back. It's 50-50 from what I've seen. But Deka, based on the previous game that we played at Southampton this season, where we beat them 4-1, we beat them quite comfortably 4-1. The lineup for that was pretty much exactly the same as yesterday, other than Jacob Murphy playing out on the right. Does the previous result fill you with more confidence, or do you just have to kind of forget about that and take each game as it comes?
I think you've got to take each game as it comes. I do think as a player, though, it's slightly different. I think as a player, then we'll be going down there knowing what happened the last time. Certainly Bruno got his first goal, didn't he? It was the back heel, if I remember rightly, that beautiful back heel.
This season.
Oh, sorry, this season.
Early on, yeah. He scored right at the end. It was 90th minute.
Sorry, yes, I apologise. I don't think it... for me, Southampton have obviously improved, as I've said, as well since then. And I think when it's a cup game, and certainly the stakes are as high as they are, I really feel that... I wouldn't say form goes out the window, that not necessarily, but I think both teams will know... I think the first 20 minutes of the game is going to be... I think it'll be pretty tight. I think both teams will not want to give anything away. Of course, I'm wanting us to come out the blocks, but I think there'll be a bit of nervousness on both sides because it's a semi-final. It's massive. For me, it's the biggest game of the season. Do you know what I mean? And I say, well, it is the biggest game of the season, and I'll say that again next Tuesday as well. Do you know what I mean? It's going to be both huge, And but I think that Eddie Howe and the players will be confident going into it. There's no doubt about it. Even though yes, last night there we didn't score, and as I've mentioned just before, there we do look a little bit short, up front at the minute. But I'm really interested to see the team sheet, if I'm honest with you. That's really, honestly, I am. Yeah. I don't know if he's going to make changes or not, but I think we'll discuss that a little bit on this preview. But I'm very interested for that.
Yeah, I mean, we can move on to that now. We don't know if there's been any new injuries from the game yesterday, and I wouldn't have thought there has been. Everyone seemed to, go off the pitch quite fine yesterday. So obviously we've only got the likes of Shelvey and Kraft, and I think obviously Dummett is probably just coming back. There's been quite a bit of rotation in these cup games, Mark, aside from the Leicester game. Does that go out the window, and does Howe play strongest side on Tuesday?
Yeah, I think so. I think given the stage where we are, the fact that we've got a free weekend coming up as well, because we're out of the FA Cup, that just gives us the chance to go in with a strong team. You wouldn't expect it to be too far off what played yesterday in the league game. I would make one change, and I think it might be one that Eddie Howe will look at, just based on the fact that we are playing 2 games in the space of 4 days. And that for me would be Wilson taking a little bit of a rest. Again, we've talked about our lack of threat, if we want to call it that, in front of goal at the minute. And I think with the way that Southampton will potentially approach this game, for me, Isak, I'd bring him in for Wilson. Give him that at least first half, as we've seen Eddie do when he started him in the past. If he's looking comfortable, keep him on for a little bit longer, and then if we need to change things up, you've got Wilson to come in. But I just think that they might look for us to hit more on the break and they'll try and kind of stop us from playing as much. And I think Isak will give us more of that on the break than what Wilson could potentially give us.
I was sugarcoating that a little bit, Mark, by saying give Callum Wilson a rest, because I think it's different. I think Callum Wilson has looked far from himself since returning from the World Cup, and I don't think it's a case of giving him a rest. I just don't think he's performing as well as what his expectations and what our expectations of him are. So I think that's probably why I think Isak will come in, because he looks more threat in front of goal at the moment.
I think that there is a little bit of that, but for me, he still just doesn't look fit. He's not doing as much of the running as that we've previously seen from him in the channels between the lines and stuff like that. The movement isn't there. He's still finding himself in positions for chances. He's still they are coming. Even yesterday when the 0-0 against Palace, we still created opportunities and chances. It was that final ball, or just the ball not falling to us nicely at the opportune moment. So I think just that little bit of difference. He's struggled since being out with what we imagine is COVID. And I think it must be about 3 or 4 times he's had that now, and he just doesn't seem to have the legs that he did have before his latest bout of it, for me.
Yeah, I mean, it can affect your lung capacity, which is going to affect your performance. Deka, when it comes to Wilson or Isak, is there a want from the fans, do you think, to start them both? It seems to be, people want to see 2 up front and go back to, like the old school way that we used to do things. Would that be something you'd like to see, or do you think it's one or the other, how Eddie Howe wants it?
I think one or the other. Personally, I think there's moments in games where you might play them both, depending on what's happened in the game. Either do we need to try and get a level out, or can we go and win the game? You'll bring both on. Do you know what it is? I'm going to defend Wilson a little bit. I do take the points that the lads have mentioned. I think sometimes you've got to stick by your striker. I think you've got to let him. Yes, he's going to have a bad run. I just think sometimes he's got to play through that, rather than. I don't think his performances have been poor enough to drop him. That's how I feel. But I do feel, though, that due to his injury record and the way how probably he's thinking of it, he's just played Saturday night there. It's not much time difference. And I am more that side of the fence of, like, if he isn't going to play, I don't think it's necessarily his form, even though I don't think he's been great. I think it might be because of that. You all know the player that I want to see play. You all know who that is. I want him to get a full 90. I'm getting
Jacob Murphy.
Now. Yes, Jacob Murphy. No, no. I want Maxi to be on here. I felt like yesterday. I know he came on, but I felt the amount of we definitely played down the wings, more so the right hand side. But I thought yesterday we absolutely destroyed them on the left hand side. But that final ball ran into trouble. Just poor, really poor at times, actually, to be honest. And personally, one of the changes that I want to see is I want to see Maxi come back into the team and have a go from the start. But I'm not saying that'll happen. It's just what I want.
So just to stick with you there, Deka, if Maxi was to come in, who would be your change? Who would you take out of that lineup to replace him? Sorry.
It's very difficult because it's going to have to be Willock or Joe Linton, and I don't want to drop either of them either. So if we can play with 12 men, that would be great. It's a tough one. It really is, because I just don't feel that Joe Linton. He's been excellent. He is brilliant. He was good last night. I just don't think that he what's the word I'm looking for? I just don't think he's as much of a threat.
You are not going to suggest dropping Joe Linton, are you?
No. This is where it's very difficult, because I think Joe Linton is better playing centre midfield, left of that three. Right, I feel that's when Joe Linton's at his best. But equally, everyone was very impressed with Willock yesterday. I mean, people were not happy that he came off because he looked the most attacking threat, and he was bursting forward. He did play well. But like, part of us would love to see Maxi left wing and Joe Linton back in the middle of the three. That's kind of what I would want.
If we flip it around, though, right? If Maxi is on the bench, and I think he's more of an impact player than what the likes of Willock would be coming off the bench later on in the game. That's why I would probably argue thinking Willock deserves to be on that left-hand side, because of that what effect you might have coming off the bench.
I think in hindsight that does sound right, but if I'm being honest, I don't know if Maxi's really done. Has he been the impact sub that we've expected? I thought yesterday, and again, I won't necessarily say it was his fault. I didn't really think we're giving him the ball, to be honest with you. We just don't seem to go out wide to the left as much as we used to. I feel as if he was on 25 minutes, and I think he had maybe 2 good moments in the game yesterday in 25 minutes, which isn't much, is it? So it's a difficult one. All I go back to was the amount of times yesterday that we were really just tearing that ward apart. And the final ball was just terrible. And sometimes, in fairness to Willock, I'm not criticising Willock, but sometimes I feel like he just wants to. It looks like he's going to fall over almost every time he runs with the ball. I don't know what
he's ran too fast, isn't it?
It's like he's too fast. I don't know.
We used to see it with Miggy. If you remember when Miggy used to first get the ball, he'd run with it and then either run out of an idea or run out of pitch.
It's strange, but listen, Willock's been brilliant, right? And his energy, he's running with the ball. I love anyone that's willing to commit a player. That's why I love Maxi so much. I love someone that's going to physically drive at a team, and I'm not criticising him. I just say, listen, we scored in the very last kick of the game at Fulham. We didn't score yesterday. I feel we need more creativity. I feel we need a change in that, and that's why I think Maxi should come in.
We'll take it back a little bit, Kris. And a question I want to ask is if we were in the position of Southampton currently in the league, bottom of the league, you're on 15 points, you're not performing that well. I think they've only won 1 in the last 5 in the league. The wins that they had that Deka mentioned earlier were in the cup. And Eddie Howe puts out his strongest side for this cup and goes all for it. Do you think that, is getting to a cup final more important than Premier League survival?
This is a question which we've tackled with loads over the years, and it's a really hard one to answer because we always struggled to answer
it's
this
not.
one.
The answer is no. The answer is no. The answer is no.
What, so getting to the cup final is more important?
No, league's more important.
League's more important.
100%.
I would say league's more important personally.
I'm not sure, I'm not sure. Every fan wants to see the club in a cup final. Then again, it's the difference between getting a cup final and winning a cup.
Exactly. You could get to a cup final,
yeah,
not win, and get relegated in the same season.
I think they'll look at the league, but I don't think that'll impact the side that comes out whatsoever. I think they'll probably look at this first leg and think they have to win this first leg, because I don't think they'll want to come to St. James's Park, obviously with a goal deficit or needing a victory. And I don't think they'll be able to hold on. Let's say if it's 0-0 each on Tuesday night, the game ends 0-0 each on a draw, and they come to St. James's Park and try and hold on for another draw there and try and take the penalties. I just don't think they'll be able to do it, because I think we will score at St. James's Park. So I think they'll go into this game on Tuesday all guns blazing, thinking they have to win this one, which works in our favour because we've got the players counter attack.
Yeah, and that's exactly what I was saying, Kris, and that's exactly how I see it going, because they'll have the fear of coming to our place, and the times that we've struggled at home this season is when people have came and just parked 10 behind the ball and tried and hit us on the break. We haven't been able to break them down, so they'll want to get that done at home in that first leg, which gives us that opportunity.
And they'll know that atmosphere will be absolutely... the atmosphere will be unreal, because we've never been in this position when everything's been good at the club before as well. So the fan base, and God knows what war flags will put on, but they'll definitely put something on for that return leg. Yeah. So they have to win on Tuesday night, Southampton. They can't not.
Well, we'll come to our predictions for Tuesday night. It's that time I don't think anyone likes to do, but we'll do it anyway. Deka, I'll come to you first, mate. Mm-hmm. Just this one leg, not over the two, but what's your predictions for Tuesday?
2-0 us. 2-0 us. All right, the lads.
Yeah. Mark, your prediction,
mate? 1-0 away win for me. I think it will be a tight affair, but I think we should just have enough quality to nick it.
Awesome. Kris?
I'm going with Mark. I think it'll be 1-0. I think that we'll find ourselves in these positions at getting decent chances at goal, but we're just not finishing with dinner at the minute. So I don't want to anticipate we're going to go there and absolutely smash them, but we'll get chances and we'll bury at least one of them. We don't give away chances very often either. I can't see them scoring. We haven't conceded in since, is it 15 hours or something ridiculous like that?
15 games.
Steady.
But I can't see we're conceding. I really can't. So, Newcastle United 1-0 win.
That's it. Newcastle nil, Southampton 4. And it's all Chris's fault.
Well, I think there'll be a few goals in this one. I think we'll get an early one and the floodgates will open because Southampton will play to then equalise or pull it back, and that'll just let us play the game that we want to play. So I'm going to go for a 3-0 win. I think it'll be 1-0 half time and then we'll score 2 kind of 60, 70 minutes. That's just how I see it happening.
Imagine the amount of clicks on Airbnb if we leave that game 3-0.
We will be breaking the hotels.
But the thing is
upgrade the servers. That's all I'm going to say.
You could see it potentially happening, just on the right night if things just go the way that you want them to. Getting an early goal, them having to come out and do it, then it would play in our hands, and you would hope that we'd have the quality to run away and do it. That's why football is such a wonderful game, isn't it?
It is, absolutely, it is. Does anybody want to add anything before we wrap this one up?
Well, I just wanted to ask Kris, really, or the lads. We're doing a live watch along for this hour on Tuesday night. Is that right?
It can happen. Yeah, it can happen.
Our record isn't great.
Then yes.
Our record isn't great of watching live.
Our record is not great doing live watch-alongs, mate. To be fair,
I think it'll be good. I think I'll be able to hold your hands because I'll be so nervous. To be honest,
I think we need to research into this further. Not that I'm dead superstitious, but I just don't want to, give any reason for anything to go wrong.
We'll see, mate. We'll see.
Okay.
Well, if you want to see if there's a live watch along, the best thing you can do is scroll down from this video, click the subscribe button. While you're there, hit the thumbs up button. But more importantly, hit the little notification bell and you'll get a little pop-up on your phone when we go live, when we post new videos, and when new content is put on this channel. We've got loads of stuff coming up. I'm guessing there's going to be an FPL show coming up. There'll be a match reaction to the Southampton game. There's possibly going to be a live watch along. There'll be an Over Smiling Faces podcast tomorrow night. So much going on. What more can you ask for? If you want to go one step further, we do have a membership program. It's $2.99 a month. That gets you early access to a lot of the videos, as well as access to the Telegram group. I probably will imagine on Tuesday night that Telegram group will be insane. There'll be so many posts in there. Jack, I'll probably have about 2 million to look at when he finally gets back into it.
I haven't actually looked, to be honest. I'll have a look and see how many I've got.
You literally have to put your phone on charge. That's how busy
I'm going at least 8K.
Well, do you know how many it is? I haven't even got the app. It's download the app again.
Is it offloaded it?
Yeah, it's offloaded, so it's going to be millions. So yeah, I apologize.
So it'll be even higher. Well, if you want to get involved with that community, it's $2.99 a month to get access to that as well as the videos. You can't ask for much more than that.
It's absolutely buzzing in there at the minute as well, Scott.
It is
absolutely buzzing in that Telegram.
We've got, like I said before, we've got ITKs, we've got plane watchers, submarine watchers, whatever. It's all going off in there. It's a nice little community. Like I said, it's a full of friendly folks. There's about 100 people in there as well at the moment, which is always good to see. But that is it for this video. Thanks, Deka. Thanks, Mark. Thanks, Kris, for joining me on your Sunday afternoon. And thank you for watching. We will see you in the next one. Come on, let's set up this leg 2 as an easy game for with a nice win.
Tell you, Maya now. Get up there, lads.
Tell you, Maya now. Get in. Well, on that one.
Get Mark on Wembley way.
We'll see you in the next one.